I'm a fair guy. I want to hear what you have to say.
That would be a better question. Well, not a question. That you should call up. Leon's probably seen it already.
I should ask
call
him.
Hey,
I should
Leon.
ask him.
Yeah. That's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I should ask him right now.
Don't ask him.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm fucking with you.
You.
Let's get to a question. I don't even think this is
another
a question. From Charlie Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Ray says, "You and co-host got me in a hell of a lot of trouble at school. There I was listening to the teacher go on and on about crap. I just stood up and shouted, 'You know what? Fuck your thoughts.' My teacher asked me who the hell I thought I was, and I replied, 'I'm a goat and I drink my own milk.'"
That is awesome.
My teacher got really mad, and now I have to attend summer school.
All right.
My Uncle Corey let me down big time. I plan to rewire co-host 3000 to turn on you all. I am uber mad right now. You lot are a bad influence.
Awesome.
You know what? If only you did that.
Right. Keep listening.
Yeah, get up. Kids, you know what? I want to see if this happens tonight. Hey, kids, listen to Uncle Corey and your master co-host 3000 right here. I encourage all kids I dare you to at one time in school to get up and tell the teacher, fuck your thoughts. And write me and tell me what happened. I don't believe this dude did it, but I would love. You know
awesome.
what?
I want to frame that email right now.
And then they say, "What the fuck?" And say, "Motherfucker, I'm a goat and I eat my own milk."
Just reading that just my life goal is complete.
I would love if that's true. I don't believe it, but in my mind, I don't even want to know. I want to think it.
Yeah. Question authority, kids.
You know something? I would give a hell of a good prize to the kid that actually records himself, whether with a video camera. I'd even take audio to a kid that records himself with audio, getting up in class and saying, "Hey, fuck your thoughts."
You'll ruin your life for about a week, but hey, it'll be worth it. You'll be back.
We'll make it worth it for you.
Hopefully be one of those kids who's making be an all-A student, like honor roll, the whole works. And just do that one day, and hopefully they won't fucking call a doctor to check on you.
It's like
that would be badass.
Most of the time, I want to be a good influence on kids, but this is one time I really do want to get kids to do something bad. If you in high school, not college, because in college you can get away with that.
Right.
If you in high school, or even it'd be great if it's elementary school. If you get up and tell them, "Fuck your thoughts," like that.
Yeah, kid has more guts. Okay, I was attending a high school one time, hanging out with a buddy of mine, right? And this teacher, it was a student teacher. She's like, she's showing this painting that somebody did. I can't remember if it was an actual legitimate artist or something she just bought. But she's like, "Oh, look, everybody, here's this painting. Doesn't it look like butterflies flying in the sky and whales?" And of course, everyone's not saying a word. And immediately I'm there and I'm like, "No, it doesn't." And she's like, "What?" It don't look like nothing you just said.
Fuck you.
She's like, "What? Get out of this class." And I'm like, "Nah, that's all right. I think I'm going to hang out." And I honestly told this woman this, and she just took it. She's like, "You just need to be quiet."
That's the way to tell him. You be quiet. You be quiet.
I run this class now, lady.
Man, we had...
Who run Bartertown?
Yeah. That's the blaster. That's the classroom. We had a kid named Michael Drake when I was in 9th grade, and I don't know why this kid did this. And the funny thing about it is he talks slow like this.
Oh no!
He's like, "Hey man,"
sounds perverted.
Right.
The creepy kid.
Yeah, the creepy. We couldn't tell if it was like some mental problem or what,
or if he was
just high or something. But it was years. I mean, when I was in class with him for like 3 years, and Michael Drake, boy, hey man, but So Michael, man, our art teacher, Mr. Garrett, came in and he's like, "Okay, class, today we're going to..." And Michael Drake, when he started talking, Michael Drake was like, "What do you want, chicken butt?" and that was such a crazy thing. We don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
And the class just started laughing.
Yeah.
And Mr. Garrett was like, he just looked at me, he's like, No, Michael, no. No, come on. He's gonna write him a little note and send him to the office. Yeah. And you know he was doing it because he was embarrassed.
Right.
I mean, we weren't really laughing at him. We just laughed because it was crazy. But you could tell, stop laughing at me. Stop. No.
It reminds me of the same fucking teacher. Because this teacher, she was an attractive teacher. So whenever I was in there, I would do things to get her attention. To get her attention. That, even though I was rude and I was a prick about it, but I really did like her. There was one time, when you showed up late to the class, you had to write your name on a piece of paper to let you know you were late. It was retarded because this is high school. And you're like, of course, we're not in the fucking kindergarten.
Yeah.
So I show up like about 15 minutes late because I was hanging out, talking to chicks. Of course. So, of course. So I show up late. He's like, Mr. Co-host, late again as usual. How about you come up here and sign this piece of paper? And I'm like, nah, that's all right. I'm like, what are we learning about today, teacher? And she's like, you son of a... He's like, you need to come up here. I was like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Whatever.
Yeah, she
was
so.
time.
I felt bad. She was so mousy. She didn't want to do anything.
Okay.
But unfortunately, we ran this teacher out one time. She actually, 2 kids got into a fight.
Chased her?
No. Okay. It was just
Come
a
here,
random day. We had the actual teacher was there along with the student teacher, right? And these fucking 2 kids, this guy and this girl, got into a fucking fight. And where the girl was trying to attack the guy, he's like, "Bitch, get off me!" So they're like holding arms together, and they actually managed to walk out, pushing themselves outside of the class. And the teacher runs out there with them, like, "What the hell?" And the door slams. So all the kids get up, like, "Oh fuck!" And they all run to the door because there's a small little window where you can see outside of what's going on. So all the kids bum fucking rush the door. And the student teachers, students, please, students, just
one of those master
down.
teachers.
There's nothing. Please, there's nothing to look out there. And I'm just kind of like looking at all the kids. I'm sitting there at the desk looking at all the kids. I'm looking at her, and I'm kind of like laughing because I'm like going back and forth. Stop it, kids! And it's like a tennis match, and the kids, nobody's paying attention.
Of course, nobody's paying attention.
Beat her ass, kill that motherfucker, kill that bitch, and you hear all this craziness, and you just. All I saw was like a blur. It was like the flash just went by. And as soon as I turned around, the student teacher was no longer there. And then the main teacher, the teacher walked in the class. She was like, "This is the first time I heard the teacher scream, 'What the fuck did you guys do?'" And everyone was like, "Oh shit." We found out.
Who said this?
The teacher did.
She
said,
"What the
ran
fuck
in the
did you
class.
guys
She was like,
do?"
"What the fuck did you guys do?" Because apparently when the student teacher left, she was crying. And she was crying. She left, and we found out the next day she quit her job.
Damn.
And after we found out she quit her job, everyone in the class had to write a letter to her apologizing about what happened.
What? She already quit. Why you have to write a letter?
We had to write a letter because they were gonna send it to her. So I was like, you know what? And it sucked because I was attracted to her. I was like, oh, it sucks.
You know what?
Now
I would have
she ain't
wrote
gonna be here. I tell you what I wrote. I actually wrote something. I was like, look, you don't need this job. You're hanging out in the classroom with a bunch of dopes. All these people are either going to end up dead or pumping gas. So, I was like, you did a good thing. You're beautiful. You're attractive. And teaching a bunch of dopes like us
get laid.
will age you. And you don't want to fucking know. You don't want to end up looking like Yoda.
Here's my number if you need to talk.
It's like, look at our teacher right now. Do you want to be that? No, you don't.
See, I would have.
So run away and fulfill all your dreams.
Run away.
And I just said you did a good thing. Yes,
I would have wrote a
some
letter.
people can handle it.
Shit.
Some people can't, and you're obviously one of those people who can't.
I would have wrote a letter saying, "Sorry that you couldn't handle your job, bitch."
Yeah. Here's my phone number. By the way, here's my phone number. By the way, if you want to talk.
Be a librarian.
Quotations. Talk.
God damn you. Let me see here. Let's go to the next email here. This is simple.
Yeah.
If you heard, this is from Brandon Williams, and if you heard the podcast, a couple of cold ones, we talked about what classic movies would be and what aren't and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And there were some movies that I thought about that some people mentioned, but the reason why I didn't mention them is because I think they still are because of
now you know
position. Well,
Go ahead.
Wreck and Let the Right One In.
Cult fucking classics.
Cult classics, not classics.
Not classics. Cult classics.
Because they still aren't known by the mainstream.
No.
They haven't had an impact on society.
Wreck still.
Yeah.
And when the fuck are they gonna release that goddamn movie?
They're already working on 2.
Well, thank God they're working. Well, it's the same
There's
team.
already
So
a trailer for 2.
I hear the trailer looks fucking incredible. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone has just been going
It's-
ape shit about that
it's
trailer.
insane
I haven't
that-
seen it. I have not seen it.
I
I don't know if I want to see
No, you should see it. It's crazy.
I wanna wait. I wanna wait till it's
and they're
done.
not showing that much. They're not
Okay,
showing that much.
okay.
It's a teaser, really.
Okay.
But yeah, you should see it. Wreck is one of it's like when Carlisle asked me what's some of your favorite horror films that you can think of. I was thinking in terms of classic movies, and it's like I'm sorry, as much as I want Wreck to be a classic, it's not. It hasn't had the social impact that
yet,
it takes to be a
yeah.
classic
It
film.
can't-
It's a
yeah.
cult classic.
Your friends, you can't talk about it with your friends unless
No,
they've seen it. Yeah.
and Let the Right Win In. I was that went through my mind, but
Same
it's
thing,
still
yeah.
it's not. But here's some movies that this guy mentions. He mentions 2 films, and I guess he listened to the couple of Coens, and he said, "Will you?" And this is something one I didn't think of, another one I did.
Yeah.
Would you consider Saw a classic, and would you consider Shrek a classic? What about you?
Yeah. Both of those movies for me.
I'm talking about not for you. Let's just be
Just
honest.
as far as the audience goes, as much as I hate to admit,
I think they
fuck,
would.
Saw would.
And
But Shrek, yes.
Shrek, yes.
yes.
Yeah,
It's a
'cause
classic.
I brought up,
That's
like-
a classic animated film. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's
It's had a social impact. It has a Broadway play. It is definitely a classic movie.
It has made its fucking
Impact. It's made its imprint on
made its
society.
impact on
And
the
Saw-
world, for crying out loud.
Of the world, yeah. No, Saw. I mean, Shrek is definitely a classic. I didn't think of that, but actually, I did today, and I was thinking that what today. You always had these afterthoughts. I was thinking, you know what, Shrek probably could be.
Yeah.
And what kept me from saying it was 2 things. I don't want to hear Carlisle complaining about when I brought up Shrek. If you want to be honest, I didn't want to hear it's something I just don't mention.
and no.
Yeah, it's just some things I just don't mention. I don't want to
Wrong.
go to a whole conversation.
I
It's like
know.
you get tired. And you're just
I
like,
know.
there's some things you just refrain saying.
You're just like, all right, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I want to get out of here, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm wrong, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't think of Saw.
Yeah.
And
Saw, no. As much as I hate to fucking admit Saw, yes, it is, because when that movie came out, people was like, "Hey, you seen Saw? You like horror movies, right?" Saw. I'm like, yeah, I saw Saw when it was called 7, and I love fucking 7. And I
Yeah.
wish that fucking movie would get the proper respect that it deserves, which I'm sure it does
Oh,
in
it
the
does.
movie community world. But
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as the norms out there, the average Joe, I think they
still
they
think
would
7
debate.
does.
I think, well, a lot of the kids I talk to about this,
get you.
they tend to say, "What are you talking about? Saw was just like gross. The guy had to hack his yeah, but you know what? It didn't have the impact
Saw
that
is-
fucking 7 did on me.
Saw
I'm
is a
sorry.
classic horror film. It is, but I
It
didn't
is,
like
but
Saw that much.
I didn't like it that much.
But Saw has definitely has an impact on
it
society.
is,
too.
and I'm not going to be ignorant to that. Yeah, so.
So yeah, you're right. Saw and Shrek would be classic.
Now, okay, I did hear part of the show today where you guys you guys thought that Harry Potter
yes,
was is about is I guess
Is-
culturally influential as far as Star Wars is concerned,
yes.
because I do not agree with that at all.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
I mean, people.
Only because my friends and the younger people that I know, they never quote that film. They never quote any of the Harry Potter films. It's not like you can never say a line like Luke, the Force. I mean, I know people's parents who were quoting Star Wars when that came out, like Luke, run, you know, shit like that, where you heard parents telling their kids that,
but
where you don't hear that with Harry Potter.
Well, with Harry Potter, it maybe it's not as quotable, but it has, and give it time, because it might be. You got to give it a few years for these kids to let it soak into them. The other thing,
I guess,
is
yeah.
people it's soaked in enough where people are talking about Patronum spells and they want their own wands made.
Right.
You know, I mean,
But I mean, when Star Wars came out, like that was like everyone. I mean, that people were saying that movie was better than drugs. I mean,
and for some
it's like-
people, look, you're not a Harry Potter fan, and maybe the people aren't, but I know some
I
people.
mean, I like Harry Potter,
Well,
but it just
that's you.
yeah,
But there are
yeah,
people
yeah.
who are sick Harry Potter fans.
I
know
guess.
somebody.
I don't know any of them.
I know somebody who had a wand made for them,
Right.
Like handcrafted and whatnot.
Right.
Harry Potter has had his impact on
Which
society.
I know, but I can say the same thing as far as like the Lord of the Rings fans. I think
Lord of the
I think-
Rings
I
is
think
up
the,
there, too.
I think the fans of the book, I think that's where, as far as establishing a film as a cultural icon, where Star Wars was fresh, it was new. As soon as that came out, everyone was into it. Your teachers were quoting fucking Star Wars. Your bosses were quoting Star Wars. I don't see that as much with the Harry Potter films, only because that series it already had a rabid fan base based on the books alone. Now, when the movies came out, I don't think there's as many fans of the actual films as there are of the books. But I think at some point, when the movie started to get good, I guess with 3, it started to come more into the forefront.
Let me put it in. Let me put it in perspective for you. Star Wars, 3 movies originally that were considered